Hey everybody, welcome to Radio Labyrinth, Season 8, Episode 41. We have a guest on this week's show. His name is Rabbit, and he's from Tex Mex Motors, which you can watch right now on Netflix. It's a fun show. He's a guy that goes down to Mexico and gets old beaters and brings them up here, fixes them up, and makes a good, sweet, tidy profit off of them, if I'm assuming that I'm correct. Am I correct?
Kind of correct.
By the time they fix them up, they're worth a lot more.
I've watched a bunch of his stuff on YouTube. He's really, really an interesting cat. And we got to thank Steph for picking up that guest. Also, I wanted to remind everybody that we have our big Halloween show live at Atlanta Pizza in Euro. When does that take place? That takes place on Sunday, the 22nd. So if you're listening or watching this immediately as it comes out, it's tomorrow, and you have all the time in the world to get there. 1 p.m. for Patreons, 2 p.m. for everybody else. Feel free to dress up in your favorite costume. Bring your kids if you want. We'll monitor what we say and how we act. But we're going to be recording a live show, and we're going to have a contest for the best costumes. We're also going to have a raffle where you take a ticket, and then if we call your name, you win prizes. We have all sorts of prizes. I printed out some of my drawings that I'll sign and give to you if you want crap like that. We also have some really cool pop culture metal plates. One of them is Matt Foley outside of the van by the river. There's a Blockbuster. There's all sorts of cool stuff, and those come to us courtesy of Brett Perkins from LDI. Mike will have stuff to give away. And God, what else do we have? Oh, we have a copy of Aqua Teen Hunger Force Plantasm on Blu-ray, and 2 trivia games, also 2 80s trivia games courtesy of. So there's a lot of stuff. We're going to have a lot of stuff to give away. You won't go empty-handed. Also, we have a bunch of swag, posters, and pins from Five Nights at Freddy. This Halloween, when night shift starts, the nightmare begins. From Blumhouse, producers of Megan, Universal Pictures presents Five Nights at Freddy's, rated PG-13, in theaters and on Peacock, October 27th. You get passes for you and a guest to go to see a special screening of it. I believe that would be on the 25th, so you're going to have to go that week. But it'll be a lot of fun. And listen, pizza buffet and soft drinks, $10, and that's a sweet deal. You don't have to. If you don't want to eat, you don't have to. But if you'd like to, it'll be help yourself, and Mike will take care of you. $10 is a sweet deal for pizza.
And there's going to be a few limited menu items, so you can order off the menu, and we'll pass the hat for the wait staff.
You can buy beer and wine too.
Yeah, you can buy. That's what I was just going to say. You can buy adult beverages if you so desire.
The glory hole's closed, right?
Yes, it has been closed, sealed up, and no one's to bring a crowbar near it.
No. Hey, Patreon members, we have a brand new one. Thank you to Jack G for joining up. And Jack, now you have access to our Patreon-only show, just like everybody else. We have multiple levels. Our producer level is $25, and for that level, you get your name mentioned every week on the show. At the top of the show, you also get a T-shirt and some stickers and a doodle from Tim that you can either have one that I've already done, or I'll do one special for you. Thank you to our producers, Tim Slayton, Brian and Chelsea Smith, Jeff Peterson, Jim Fortner, Terry Fuller, Chris Chandler, Roby Neely, Kevin Jackson, Mike D, and Matt Cotta. My Popcast is a radio show I do on WSB Radio. Sorry, I get all these plugs out of the way. Popcast is the name of the show. Normally airs 7 p.m. on WSB Radio. That's 95.5 FM or 7:50 a.m. if you live in the area. If you don't, you can get the app, and it's a WSB Radio app. Or you can listen to it live, or it becomes a podcast the following Monday. The current podcast version features guys from the Dynamic Wrestling Alliance. That would be Kevin Kirkland, the GM, Chainmail, who is an elusive character, and the Ultraviolet champ, Chip Schuyler. It was a lot of fun doing that with those guys, and they have an event coming up at the end of the month. Check it out. You can find it all on any of my social medias. And the guest this week, well, we'll see. I had it booked. His name is Graham Nash. If you're not familiar, there's a band called The Hollies you may have heard of, or Crosby, Stills, and Nash, maybe. He's that Nash. And he has 2 dates coming up, the 27th and 28th at Variety Playhouse. And he also has a new album out, and that's what I was going to talk to him about. And because I was here early today and he wasn't able to call in, I just pretended to be him and did an interview with him, and I did his answers, and I did it in an accent, and then I went through and made it sound like he's on the phone. So if I don't get him on my rescheduled date, that's what the whole thing will be. and it'll be a lot of fun. Not in a mean way. I mean, certainly he is a busy person. He is on tour.
Did you tell him about you being in his movie?
No, but I'm going to. I told the guy who booked the interview that I met him before and that I was in the movie. Also, bonus for the Atlanta Pizza in Euro on Sunday. Ira will be there, and we are going to tape the show. So we'll record the show and we'll put it out as just a bonus episode because we won't have video as far as I know, right?
No, I think we're trying to do video.
We'll see.
But
We'll see what happens.
Don't make it too hard.
Everything may fall apart, but we'll still have a party.
Everything falls apart more. Steph, you hanging in there? Steph's a little under the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that smoky, sultry voice.
Yeah, it's serving me pretty well when I'm dealing with patients on the phone. They really helps turn them around. I'll answer, and then they're very shitty.
Yeah,
and then like by the end of it, I sound so pathetic. And then they're like, "Oh well, I sure hope you feel better."
Well, are you taking anything to get rid of this mess?
I'm taking the D. The Mucinex.
Yeah, I know you are.
The Mucinex D.
Mucinex D. Does that shit help? I hate that. It makes my head boom, 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 boom. My heart go boom, 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 boom.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I like being jacked, so.
So do I.
Yeah. Not the same, Tim.
Jacking on the D.
Jack in the D. There's the name of your show. Also, we have a guest, so maybe we're not going to call it Jack.
I appreciate it. Don't do that to me.
Our guest tonight is not only one of the stars of the popular Netflix reality series Tex Mex Motors, he's also a legend in the car selling biz. His YouTube channel, Rabbit's Used Cars, where viewers tune in for his wild sales stories and sage car advice, has over 130,000 subs. He's also widely known as the eBay Outlaw after being banned from the site for life. Where's he from, Steph?
I believe he's from Texas, but I think he works out of South Carolina, like his garage is in South Carolina. He doesn't do the work on the cars. He's the sales. He makes the deal to get the old crap car for a good price, and then
they don't show much of that part on the show.
Then
where he's got the guy over a barrel and he's beating him and goes, I'll give you $10 for this car.
Okay, sir. Here's the crown. Please welcome to the show, Rob Rabbit PITTS.
I've always known you could make a killing bringing cars over the border from Mexico, if you know where to look.
There he is.
Hey, man.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you doing?
Doing good. Literally just ran in the door. Sorry, I came in too late.
I was like, though, this is it. He's gonna burn us.
He's that guy. No, I try not to be.
Banned from life from eBay and Radio Labyrinth.
Exactly. I'm steadily working my way to being blacklisted.
Well, my first question for you probably, and please excuse my voice, I've got some sort of respiratory nonsense going on, but it's probably something everybody asks you now. What the hell kind of dog is Nacho?
I don't know, actually. So yeah, Nacho, he got brought in there at the tail end. It was kind of a shock to all of us. And I don't think anybody really knew Nacho was going to be there until he showed up with Mike. And he won't be back next season. So it's all.
Oh no. Well, you answered another question. There's going to be a second season, huh?
Yes, it is. We'll actually leave in January to film it.
Awesome. Well, for people who never watched Tex Mex Motors, how would you describe the show to them?
I'll tell you how the show was described to me. It's a car TV show, a lot like the others, with a little Reno 911 mixed in it. And when I was first told that, I didn't know how I felt about it till we shot the pilot. It's fun. At first I didn't know. I was kind of on the fence, but I love Scooter. He's just that guy. You gotta love him. And we had a whole different cast. when we shot.
Really?
Yeah, everyone would basically be a shooter, the only two that carried over. But it's really neat because it shows some of the nuts and bolts, and you see these cool cars being built, but on the other end, you have this story on the side. And, a lot of people are like, is this rehearsed? No, these are just genuine conversations between me and Turner going back and forth. And in the shop, probably the funniest part of all of that, backing way up, about 3 years ago, but a little longer than now, I got a message on Instagram from a production company that says, hey, we got this idea for a TV show. I saw you on YouTube. We love this rabbit character of yours. And I said, that's me. I'm a sleazy used car salesman, check. And, I just owned up to it. And so, and he goes, man, we love it. Like, I love that quick wit you got and all that stuff. And, I did stand-up comedy for 7 years. And once I figured out that you can't pay a mortgage with bar tabs, I got out of that. And I got into car sales because something I did learn at stand-up comedy, I traveled with two other comedians, three of us. Every weekend we were somewhere on the East Coast. And we played every little hole-in-the-wall bar you could think of. Matter of fact, we actually did jokes one night at a seafood restaurant. That tells you your career in places. But anyway, stand-up comedy may not have been in the cards for us, but we learned a lot of valuable lessons, learning how to work a crowd and just having fun with it. And something that a good friend of mine that I told jokes with, one of the other two guys, he actually ended up starting a large landscaping company that's still going to this day. It's monstrous now. And, and me and him, we'll grab lunch about twice a year. We'll catch up. And I said, what's the one thing you took from comedy that you use every day? If you can make somebody laugh, you can damn near make them do anything. I've had customers madder than hell. I'm talking about coming in, just horns, sting coming out of their ears. 2 minutes, I got them laughing about something. Got them giggling. Next thing you know, it's like the Jedi mind trick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. And the other thing is comedy. It's an old Oscar Wilde quote, but it's a great one. Comedy's like a rubber sword. It allows you to make a point without drawing blood. So if you need to break some bad news to somebody, you can make them giggle while you're doing it. It's usually a little better.
I never heard that quote, but it makes perfect sense. Disarms the other person and shows them they can be vulnerable, because when you're laughing, you're vulnerable. You don't know how you look. And then you're like,
like, sorry, grandma's died, but no.
Yeah.
It's comedy's a funny thing, and laughter is a great thing, and it's one of those things. If you can make somebody laugh, I mean, all the crap that's going on in the world, and I'm not going to get started on any of that, but you know what I'm saying. The world's
going on.
It's horrible. Yeah, I know. And but you know what I mean. Like, it's like you turn on the news, they tell you good evening, and they proceed to tell you everything that's wrong.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying. You got to laugh a little bit, and that's what this show really, truthfully. Is it for the nuts and bolts car guy? Yeah, he's gonna like it because we did some fun stuff. We did some cool bills. We had some very talented people on this in the shop. Wes Zachary, Jamie Hill. Those two right there, they kick ass and take names all the way.
Is Jamie the best? Is she like the most badass female mechanic you've ever seen?
I will tell you something. Jamie, literally, because keep in mind, we all met over a Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
And getting different. And basically we just kind of got thrown together. We're kind of like, well, there's boy bands back in the 90s. Boom. Now you guys can all be best friends. And what's crazy is we all talk every day. We are all really close. And you got to think about it. You spend 4.5 months every day with somebody. You build a little bit of a friendship there. Having dinner every night, get 12-hour days. And some of the craziest situations, some I can't tell you about, some I'll share, but some I will never tell you about. But but that being said, these are talented people. I mean, like I joke around. Jamie, she was building automatic transmissions at 12 years old. She's the real deal. She's not just there because, hey, we need a girl in the team.
Right.
She's the real deal all the way across. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little scared of her. Like in every relationship, you got to have the right amount of feet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't cross her. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. I want to stay with her good side. And I was raised on the rowdy side of the trailer park. But I will tell you right now that I don't want to mess with her. There was a couple of times I'm like, so I'm going to go in my office. You guys, all right.
When does that love of cars grab somebody and never leave? And I ask this because my father is in his late 70s. He's always been a car person. I know shit about car. I know that when the light goes on, I'm going to ignore it for 6 months and then take it in and then get yelled at.
It doesn't stop.
But my son is 2.5 years old, completely obsessed with cars. And a week ago, I put on NASCAR for him, and it was like he had reached nirvana. His eyes opened up. Cars going round, fast, race. But he's obsessed with cars. Do you think, like with most kids, that's just an early obsession, or is he going to be like, can we nurture that so he can like fix our cars when we're old, which it won't be very long?
So this is the thing. Everyone appreciates a good-looking automobile. In a lot of ways, just a rite of passage when we were teenagers. And, getting that driver's license, it's freedom, and, open road, and all that stuff. That's a neat thing. So I think a lot of guys like it. And you don't have to be a mechanic to be, this is the thing with me. I come from a long line of mechanics. My father was a mechanic. My grandfather was a mechanic. They owned a decent truck shop for years. I'm not smart enough to be a mechanic, so I end up being a salesman. But you see what I'm getting at. And I grew up, I had no choice. I mean, it was either like cars or leave. And I love cars, and I've sold cars for every facet you could think of. I've worked with more in commercial trucks, buy here, pay here, Ford Escorts, and just your minivans, single moms, all that. I did that. But now I get to sell what I love, is classic cars. And I got that from my grandfather, because my grandfather, he was around when most of the stuff was fairly new. But he was the one taking me to car shows when I was 12 years old. And my dad was a drag racer. And, he was a big into racing. And, and then when, like every old drag racer, they get in old cars. So when they retired from drag racing. So when my dad got out of the drag racing stuff, which was around this time, and we all started going to car shows together. And that's where, my love affair for classic cars. And I like the new stuff, I've got a new Cadillac V in the garage that I love with a passion. I love it. But there's just something about a 69 Camaro or a 57 Chevrolet or a 65 Mustang that's just, you can't recreate.
It's art.
Well, it's art. It's a simpler tone. I mean, and like I said in the show, and this one's very true, I've said a million times on YouTube, my job is to talk people into making bad financial decisions. But you can't put a price on happiness. And I have put more people in their first collector car, and I love that. Like I love selling. So I love dragging somebody to the dark side and getting that. I mean, I love to sell somebody a terribly, terribly unreliable car that is going to leak, and it's going to break down, and it's going to make weird noises, and it's not comfortable. It doesn't have air conditioning, and it doesn't have a good radio in it. But you know what it does? It turns heads everywhere you go. When you go get gas in that thing, it's going to be an hour-long venture because everyone's going to want to talk to you about this thing. And everybody's so have one just like it, but a different color. And all these things. That's the thing. It's that lifestyle. I sold a fella, this has been about 6 months. Well, that's about 6 months back. I sold a guy an F-100 from a truck, a 50s truck, and it was his first car. And he was actually a doctor. He moved out here from upstate New York to South Carolina. And, he kind of retired and all this stuff. I said, listen, he said, why should I buy this? He's a real, just straightforward, straight thinker, analytical. Smart guy. It's a doctor. And And I said, listen, as I hopped up on the hood, sitting on the hood of a Corvette, I said, I'll tell you something, bud. I said, you could find the cure for cancer, but if you got this Ford truck sitting in your driveway, everyone in your neighborhood is not going to be like, yeah, that guy over there, that 201, he cured cancer. No, he's got that badass F-100 sitting there.
Hell yeah.
That's the thing with that. And
I like the guy down my street has a DeLorean, and he drive. It's the same DeLorean, and he drives it up and down. It's like, oh yeah, that's the DeLorean guy. Everybody knows the DeLorean guy.
Well, it is, and I love it. It was so funny. I love happy customer stories. And keep in mind, so you got to think 20, 21, and 22, or 20, 20, and 21, and 22. We sold over 100 classic cars every year at RUC. And I mean, that's a lot. That's one every 3 days, basically, and all over the country. And I love when it comes in stores and some we ship straight out, whatever. But I had a kid, he started a custodial service, a janitorial service, 24 years old, in business for himself. He sends me a message about this long black Cadillac I have on there, right? This lower, this thing's monsters. He goes, how long is that car? I said, I don't know. I'll tell you, give me a few minutes and I'll let you know. I walk out my warehouse and pull a tape measure. It says 22 feet, 9 inches. He goes, I'll take it. I have 23 feet in my garage. That car is awesome.
Wow.
He said, I want to come down and pick it up. So, and keep in mind, this is all in messages. We talked on the phone for just a brief minute about the details. And so he comes in. His grandparents brought him down from Virginia Beach to South Carolina. And they brought him in. This kid, he's 24, but he looks like he's 14. Yeah. And he's just all over himself. And we're sitting there, his grandparents are in my office. We're doing the paperwork on it. And, of course, we're doing the paperwork. And I said, of course, there's no warranties on 40-year-old Cadillacs. And I also can't be responsible for any illegitimate children made because of this car.
Right.
So they were leaving my dealership going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for a week. So his grandparents drove there, Buick Grandpa Mobile. And he got this black Cadillac on the air ride. It's 22 feet, 9 inches long, and drove it to Myrtle Beach. About 7 or 8 hours later, I get a text from this kid. I still had it. I had it saved to my phone because it just makes me smile. And I can't say exactly how he said it because it's a little vulgar, but he loved his car. It's sitting on A1A in Myrtle Beach, right there on the Strand, and people were piled around it. And he'll send me a message or tag me in a post on Instagram. And I mean, I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because that guy right there, we created a customer for life. That kid will never have a savings account again because
Well, I wanted to ask you, like you and Scooter, when you go down to Juarez and places like that, do you ever get nervous? And, you said you got a season 2 coming, and I know that the plan was that you're going to go deeper into Mexico.
Correct.
Are you even more nervous about that?
So, yes and no. You got to understand, I've sold some cars in pretty rough neighborhoods. So, I mean, it's a different area, though. Juarez, we took a tour of Juarez before we started filming. And, they showed us where to, places that it's okay to film here, or you can hang out here. Don't go here. Nighttime, don't be here, and things like that. We had armed guards with us everywhere we went. So that made us feel a little better. And, of course, security and safety is key with any kind of production like this.
Oh, I think so with Netflix, because like those people got killed that were filming Narcos. I was figuring they'd be extra.
Okay. So I didn't know that. No, well, review my contract. And no, they are very safety conscious, and it is a good thing because I mean you're somewhere that's not home. Anything can happen. So that's, and there's a lot of crazy things that happen on the border, which I think that's a lot of the allure of the show. Also, I mean, if we went to Lubbock, Texas, it probably wouldn't get as much attention. But it's neat, and I love it. I love what this hobby has expanded for me. I mean, I never thought in a million years that a guy that was selling cars buy here, pay here in West Greenville is now filming a TV show that's going over to Mexico buying classic cars. Or, just a month ago, I was in London, England, hosting a car show out there.
Wow.
And I mean, like, I love this hobby because it's worldwide. And that's a big thing about the show is you got to think about it. I mean, it's things like broke down to like 28 languages around the world. So it's insane, the reach. It was a worldwide drop. So basically, they have a television they hide. And that was a big appeal to this. But, and then going on about what you're saying, so we are going deeper into Mexico. We're going, as in the last episode, we were driving to Chihuahua. And that's where we're headed. And Chihuahua's about 4 hours inside. Now, I've also heard that the more interior you go, usually the better it is. I haven't been there yet.
You'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out if Rabbit's alive for season 3.
It'd be cool if Cuba opened up again, like really opened up, because really they didn't get any American cars after 1960. So 61. And then they have all those classic cars that they've been taking care of for generations, right?
I've been there.
You've been there. Okay. Are there a lot of them?
I won't fill in on a little secret. I'm going to beat you to the punch. They've already thought about filming a TV show there.
Oh, okay.
This is the problem with that. This was about 8-9 years ago. I was approached, and this is way before YouTube or anything. I actually had an automotive radio show. Yeah. And they reached out to me and about going to Cuba. And, Cuban peso and the American dollar are literally right there with each other. Or then they were, I don't know currently, but and we went to Havana, and it's beautiful. It's just what you would think. Cuba's a small island, really. But the cars were so just hodgepodge together, because they got people running.
Yeah.
They're in horrible shape. Where the cars that we're finding in Mexico, one's a very dry climate, and two, like they use these cars, but they can get parts for them. They can get things. So, it's not going to have like a forklift engine in it.
I didn't think about that. They couldn't get parts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep in mind all the other countries trade with Cuba, but Cuba doesn't have a lot of money to buy these things. So they kind of have to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Get that old Soviet compact car.
Exactly. It's made from like, used rubbers or something, But it's different, in Mexico, and I love it. Of course, the weather's gorgeous out there. It's very hot. But, and that's the neat thing that you've got cars that are 40, 50, 60 years old that, if they were up north or even here in the South where we have it a little bit better, these things would be rusty or whatever. These guys are still driving these things. They still use a lot of these cars. And that's a really cool thing. So it's not quite cubicle, but it is definitely, where you can actually build some really neat cars.
Well, I'm just so excited that you guys got a season 2, because like when I was first doing research on this, there wasn't word on it yet. There would be a season 2. So
I've learned a thing about the internet. There's more. I love this. I love this being a C-list Netflix TV guy. There was an article, and I'm pretty sure like AI wrote this. It was saying that I was 5'9", I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
It said that I was engaged. It said that, and it said I was worth $3.2 billion, or $3.2 million. And I'm over here like, I guess they send that money to you later or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me check my online banking. Nope, still not there. But and it's very interesting, and things like that. And I actually had a friend that sent me the link. He said, I didn't know you were engaged. Hell, I didn't either.
Yeah. Well, you are now.
But that's the funny part about this stuff. And I love doing these podcast interviews and things like that, because it was a great experience. And that right there was the best part. It still blows my mind how I even got from a guy that had a few old cars to go into selling them. And the thing that was crazy, the reason I went into selling collector cars is because I needed cars to film with and content. So basically, from one YouTube video, a collector car dealership was born that took off, and then Netflix saw it. And the rest is history.
So if somebody wants to come and buy a car from you, they can come into your place and buy a car, right?
You know what? I love it. Yeah. RabbitShoeStores.com or 1535 Blue Ridge Boulevard, South Carolina. And you can come see them yourself. We probably have about 10 people a day come in. And a lot of them just from the TV show and YouTube stuff. And I love talking to them. I mean, we have a blast. It's like I was telling somebody the other day, I get paid for bullshit. And I just get tired.
I'm going to get my dad turned on to the show. I'll show him how to figure out Netflix.
Well, and that was another thing. I was doing a meet and greet. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember. I was in Indianapolis. There was two funny things about the show in Indianapolis. So I did a meet and greet there. It was an Australian car show. I had a guy come up to me. He goes, "My son absolutely loves you." And I said, "Man, where's he at? I hate he couldn't make it." You know, he goes, "Well, he's incarcerated right now."
Yes.
That's my demographic. And, remind me to put some money on his books. That's my people. And I said honey buns on rabbits. But, and the other guy proceeded to tell me how his TV remote didn't work right on Netflix. And like that's my doing. That's my yeah. It's television.
Can you help me fix my Amazon prior? I can't fix it.
I took the batteries out of it and put them back in it.
That seemed to work.
These are my people.
Yeah.
This is something really funny, and I think you guys will get a kick out of this. And I love telling the story because I don't know how long I'll be able to keep this tag. So I need to get the story out as long as I can. So real funny. Obviously bad for me, bad for life. You know, that was my very first YouTube story. You know, so we know this already. I bought 2 brand new Cadillac V's in February of 22, one for me and one for my mother. My father passed away, gave my mother a brand new Cadillac every 3 years. And of course he died on year 3. So this was my fault now. So anyway, we got mom a new Cadillac. So me and my mother had matching Cadillacs, and hers is bright red, mine's white. And I said, you know what, I don't want to run a dealer tag. I want a personalized plate. You know, I want to put something cool on it. And my buddy Travis Bell, who owns Celebrity Machines, that does all the cool vanity plates and that you see on TV and in movies and stuff. I said, Travis, you're going to get a tag. What would you pick? He said, well, South Carolina, you can only have 7 characters. And I said, yeah. He goes, He said, well, you can get Rabbit, but it's going to be offset. So you're going to get Rabbit 1. And I'm like, there's some old man with a Ford Ranger that has this. No. So I said, okay. He said, we can get YouTube. That's 7 letters. He said, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but I got a show on Netflix about a film. I don't want to do that. And he goes, He said, let me think on it. So he sends me back about 20 minutes later. BND, the number 4 LFE, banned for life. I said, I love it. So I put that in on my personalized plate form. Well, by this time, I already left to go film. You know, we've been there a few weeks. My phone rings, and my mother calls it. She checked my mail at home, and she says, you have something from the local or from the DMV home office. And I said, that's probably something for the car lot. It's no big deal. And she said, no, it's addressed to you. And I'm like, well, open it up. Mm-hmm. And it was a piece of paper saying that I needed to call in and explain why I wanted BND number 4 LFE on a license plate. That they couldn't find anything that it didn't meet the criteria, that didn't meet the criteria. But why? Yeah. I call. And I give her, you know, my information, and they direct me to a person. They got a little case thing opened up. I said, yes, Mr. Pitts, I see what you're saying. She said, so why do you want banned for life on a tag? She said, what are you banned from? And I said, no, ma'am. I said, no, it's not like that. She said, I don't understand. And I said, when I bought that Cadillac, it was my dream car. And it got me thinking about the happiest days of my life. You know when that was? The marching band in high school. Oh my goodness, the band for life. I said, exactly. I said, if these old knees would hold up, I'd be in a marching band somewhere today. He's like, oh, we thought it was something bad. Now, stop right there. Google Rob Pitts, and see what it tells you. The very first thing, banned for life from eBay. So I'm just waiting for the state of South Carolina to send me something because they actually gave me that tag. So,
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
but anyway, but that's the fun stuff. Guys, thank you for having
Rob Rabbit Pitts, just so people know your full name.
me. It's not on my driver's license, FYI.
Yeah.
Rob Rabbit Pitts. Oh, well, before we wrap with you, thank you so much, man, for coming on
man.
and everything. And
This was fun.
well, please, we'd love for you to come back, you know.
Hey, when season 2's coming back, come back on and let everybody know.
Well, we can definitely do that. Definitely do that. You guys take care. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for
Oh,
coming.
man.
on, man.
Thanks,
Very
man.
much. appreciate it.
Cheers.
Yeah, we love the show.
And I
Thanks for watching. Watch again. We want season 3.
Hey, I want to say thank you to Atlanta Pizza in Gyro, or Gyro, however you want to pronounce it. They're our longest sponsor. And I want to say thank you to Mike Hall and everyone at the restaurant. Fall is here, and we have some new local craft beers for you to enjoy. We don't, but they do. And not one pumpkin spice, which I'm kind of disappointed. Mike made an effort to point out in the commercial or in the email with the new copy that they didn't have pumpkin spice. And you know, what kind of beer season is it without pumpkin spice? But I get it. Not everybody likes pumpkin.
Not everybody likes pumpkin spice. I like it. It looks like my face.
Now featuring 2 locally made German-style Märzen beers. I said it right. They have the umlaut over the A like Motley Crue. They have that on tap. Terrapin Oktoberfest, which I'm sure is delicious, and Dry County Oktoberfest, which I'm sure is also delicious. And I'm back in the beer drinking mode, so when I'm out there, and we're out there for our Halloween party, I'll be drinking some of that. Both of these local brews are delicious amber lagers and feature a clean, rich, toasty, and bready malt flavor with a nice dry finish. Atlanta Pizza in Gyro serves up the best freshly made Greek and Italian specialties around in an authentic retro dive pizza place with a come-as-you-are family-friendly atmosphere. Dine-in and takeout available, limited delivery also available through Slice, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. And if you're a business or corporate client who is looking to book a food truck for your next private or catered luncheon, please contact Mike Hall at Atlanta Pizza in Gyro by calling 770-483-6228. They are open for dine-in and takeout Monday through Friday, 11 to 9, Saturday, noon to 9, closed on Sundays. Also, do you have a commercial or residential construction printing need? Well, what are you waiting for? If you have said needs, contact LDI Repro Printing of Athens. They've been in Athens, Georgia since 2005, so almost 20 years now. With fast turnaround and affordable prices, call 706-316-9366, or you can email them at athens@ldiline.com. I like that John Carpenter show. I watched the first episode of that.
get into that.
It's a little odd. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
It was like everybody's crying and shit. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. What the hell is this? I thought this was
Yeah.
going to be scary stories.
That's what I thought. Well, it was scary, like getting zipped up in a bag by heroin addicts.
I guess.
Oh, they finally heard that Jack Osborne, Jason Mewes searching for Bigfoot episode that they taped like a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was good. They didn't find anything, of course, or see anything or hear anything, but it was just fun watching those two out in the woods.
I watched all of that wilderness show on Prime.
Was it good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, just a little twisty revenge thriller. 6 episodes.
I watched a lot of football, and I think I'm tired of football.
Oh, I'm sure you would be tired. I'm definitely not tired of it.
Wow, your team won.
I don't care. Everything is fake. It's all fake. Especially like the Chiefs should have lost at least 2 games this season.
Not while Taylor's there.
I know. I think it's all fake.
So the Lions are fake. They're just not as good as they are.
It's all scripted. It's all scripted. The Lions are good. But it's going to be the frickin' Chiefs.
We'll see what we see.
Chiefs are going to win it all with Mr. Pfizer. Alfazar. I love that guy. The guy at TikTok. How bizarre.
I did think that Pete Davidson thing was funny. The self-deprecating thing he put out.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. I mean, what else was he going to do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
His monologue too about like Israel and all that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that bit he did with Please Don't Destroy.
Yeah. That was funny. Where they were at the Apollo.
Yeah. Yeah. In Uptown Comedy, whatever.
Yeah. They were deaf comics. As little kids.
Yeah. And then the one guy's mom recognized him.
Jay's mom wanted to be him.
Yeah.
I would love to go see Jost and Shay, but their tickets are crazy
Expensive.
Everything's nuts. Morrissey this week is $300. I'm not paying $300 to see a guy yelling at me about eating meat. I can get that for free from Steph.
I will go out tonight, but you cannot have any bacon sandwich.
That would probably be a fun show, though.
Morrissey?
No, Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Oh.
It was great when he opened for Jon Stewart when I saw him.
Yeah, but their headline, the news segment, makes that show.
Yeah.
Look, that's the only thing that I always will watch. I'll just watch that, nothing else most of the time.
Yeah, I usually go to bed after update.
And you can watch it all the next morning on.
All the good parts are online the next day.
Right.
Tell you what I did watch. Do you remember in the 90s, early 90s, they rebooted Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an episode called Night Crawlers that was done by Freakin'. I rewatched it, and it is so good. It's about the Vietnam vet that goes into the diner, and he has I guess something happened to him in Vietnam, but he can materialize things. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden the Viet Cong materialize and come back to get him in the diner. And it's really good. It's on YouTube. But yeah, I started watching that, and then I started watching other ones. They have all these, like when they rebooted it, they went in for like all these big directors and had them do all these episodes, and I forgot how good they were.
It's definitely way better than this new Jordan Peele Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that.
So I was talking a few minutes ago about how I think the NFL is fake. I think in some ways it is, and I think the reason I think it has some fakiness in it is because of the gambling association.
Yeah, the betting.
It's
all legal now.
Yes, teams aren't making overs, or getting within the spread, which they normally would. And you saw that, like, oh God, I can't remember his name. It started Sunday morning with the Ravens-Titans game, and it was the fill-in quarterback, and they didn't even try to score a touchdown. They wouldn't have won, but they could have gotten it closer. Same thing with the Giants. They should have run.
That game should have had a much higher under.
Yes, and also there was the Bills held them at the end, even after that last penalty, which gave them the 0 time left, last shot at the end zone, and they shouldn't have passed. They should have just run Saquon. And I don't know why they did. I don't know.
It's fixed.
I think it's fixed. I honestly believe that it's fixed, and all this Taylor Swift stuff is just annoying as hell. That's why I like that TikTok guy. He has a stupid name, Jokes for Wokes, but whatever. But he makes all these short little parodies of How Bizarre, and it's called How Fizarre, like Pfizer. And he's Mr. Pfizer. Here comes Mr. Pfizer. His girlfriend's in the stands.
Yeah.
How Fizarre. So those are a lot of fun. But I didn't really, the news is so friggin' depressing. We can't talk about any of that stuff, because if you start talking about it, you're put into a silo. And
you're talking about Britney's abortion.
I know. I am pro Britney, and always have been. When they came out in those ridiculous matching denim outfits, I decided that I was done with them. But no, Britney has a book out or something. Is that where all this?
Yeah, her book just came out, or is just about to come out.
Mm-hmm. You gonna believe her, the woman who does weird dances, that she's locked in her home with knives?
With the knives, oh my God, I love all of the things where they put her in a Benihana.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Benihana one was the best.
The Deadpool scene where he's dodging bullets with the knives. Yeah, that one's great.
What did Disney do to this woman?
Or what Justin Timberlake did to her, but
So she had an abortion. That probably was record label and studio saying, "Oh, you can't get pregnant now."
No, I think it was Justin saying he didn't want to be a father was what she's saying.
Did she say that he had a small penis too?
Somebody made that up. That was part of a joke or something like that, where they said that was like an excerpt they leaked from the book where it said, I said, "When are you going to put it in?" And he said, "It's in." And I was so disappointed. But I don't think that was real.
He puts his dick in a very small box. Is my dick in a ring box? I was listening to that car the other day. It came up in I don't know, I was just on random and it came up and Gil was in the back. I'm like, he's not going to figure it out. He didn't know what I'm talking about.
Those Lonely Island songs are so good.
Play the dick box song again, Daddy.
Dick in a box, dick in a box.
That's what I was going to ask for Christmas this year. He's going to ask you for a tick in the box.
Robot. No, robot.
As long as he doesn't go around singing "jizz in my pants."
No, he will not. He will not. He every morning this week he got up and go, "Robot, no robot." And he goes over and he stares at the Roomba. And finally I said, "Listen, all that robot does is cleans the floor. It picks up dog hair and whatever you leave laying around." I said, "It cleans the floor. Repeat it." I said, "Tell me, what does the robot do?" "Clean floor." No robot. No robot. Okay, that was the robot. No robot. So he's obsessed with it. I saw on TikTok, no, it was on Instagram, that somebody had this great idea of putting a dowel, affixing a dowel to the top of it and putting a like a sheet, like a ghost on top of it. So as it rolls down, the ghost has a broom. And I said, I'm going to make that. I showed it to my wife. I said, I'm going to make that for Gil. He'll really love that. The ghost floating around. No ghost.
Views. Or.
Snooze.
We'll skip last week since everybody can just look it up. Old Dads comes on Netflix as Bill Burr's directorial debut. I thought with the theme of the old dads, it would be good to throw that on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's views for me.
That's definitely
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
for me. Yeah, the preview looks hilarious.
Yeah,
already.
Bobby Cannavale, we all love him.
He's a big penis.
Tim loves his big penis.
I didn't say I loved it. I just acknowledged it.
admire it from afar.
Upload comes back on Amazon Prime. Has anybody kept up with that? I've watched season 1 and 2.
I only watched the
watched-
first season.
I only watched the first season.
It was good. Season 2 is good.
I like the first season. I should probably get caught up.
Yeah, get caught up. It's good. And then Pete Holmes has a stand-up special coming on Netflix called "I'm Not for Everybody."
That's a view. So I did not watch Big Vape or Frasier.
I watched the first episode of Big Vape. It's good. They kind of gloss over the whole thing about how it came out of the weed business.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was the PAX that started the whole thing.
That's right.
They kind of gloss over that, but they talk about it a little bit. But I thought that the whole first episode would be like the split between the PAX and the Jewel.
Bastards.
Well, definitely, if you guys get a chance, watch that Mr. Dress Up documentary on Prime. I found that and bawled my freaking eyeballs out.
What's that about?
You guys didn't get the CBC, I guess, in New York, huh? The Canadian Broadcasting Network.
Uh-huh. No.
We got it in Detroit, and Mr. Dress Up was he was a kid's show. Him and Mr. Rogers were best friends. And so whenever they went to Toronto, Mr. Rogers... No, shut up.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers took him with him when they went to Toronto.
Oh, cool.
And he was there the first 2 years, and then he wanted to go back to Pittsburgh. So he said, why don't you give the show, him a chance. And so he started this show. This was my show. It was like more than Sesame Street, more than Mr. Rogers even. Mr. Dress Up was shit. So anyway, if you want to learn about him.
Mother's brother.
Yeah.
He was so amazing. I can't even tell you. And then we're watching the documentary. It made me realize how many choices and probably actually things about me, my personality and whatnot came from watching this freaking show. And I never even realized it.
I'm going to check it out. It's on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a
really
puppet.
good.
It looks like Lady Elaine.
Yeah, he had, there was Casey and Finnegan.
Yeah.
And the lady who did and Finnegan was, mouth moved, but Casey did not, or whatever.
But so this Casey person, not the dog was Casey, right?
The dog's name was Finnegan.
Okay.
And
Casey was an angry drunk, right? Who lived in a carousel.
No, that wasn't the name of a carousel. So Mr. Joseph, he had the tickle trunk, and he would go and he would go and he would costume out on every episode, and he would dress up, and he got it out of the tickle trunk.
Cool.
Right.
I'm gonna check that out.
A little afraid of the tickle trunk.
It's just across different in Canada.
There's a guy who lived in our neighborhood who had a tickle truck, and it wasn't fun.
He gave you all that. He gave you all that free bubble gum afterwards, though.
Yeah, but it was
Canadians do not molest.
Not anymore. They don't.
How about that's the name for the show title?
No. A show title will probably thank Rabbit from Tex Mex Motors and not mention any of the things we just said. So. That's right. Rob Pitts from Tex Mex Motors, which you can watch now on Netflix, aka Rabbit, and you can find him all over YouTube and all over the internet. Thank you, Steph, for getting that for us. Coming on Wednesday, we have a guest. We'll have a show coming out. Jeff, who will be on Radio Labyrinth Presents Wednesday?
Dan Frischman from Head of the Senior Class on Facebook.
And also from Head of the Class on ABC.
Yeah, the original Head of the Class.
And also my favorite episode of Family Ties, and you can hear how I embarrass myself gushing. So it meant to me.
You didn't mention about how you loved Jerry Jewell.
No, I figured I had already. The other thing is, anytime I do the New York Times crossword puzzle every single day, and whenever the MoMA comes up as a clue,
oh yeah,
I think of that fucking episode, and I have not just recently, like anytime I think of the MoMA, I think of that episode.
Yeah.
Steph, I hope you feel better. Do you want to talk about Barkville?
Only to say that Leela got adopted.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations!
Cool.
Yeah, her family. I went to take her over there to meet them at their house. They wanted to do a cat test with her. The cat that they had was as big as a dog. So
was it a Maine Coon?
It was a Maine Coon mix. I mean, and he looked like an old man. Just like he had the full face of an old man. When he came around the corner, I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "There's no way she's gonna think that's a rag doll and shake it to death." I mean, it looks like a. So she did great. The family was so freaking amazing, and I begged them to adopt me. I was like, "I want to stay here with you guys forever." I love them. They were so wonderful. So they adopted her, and they're gonna get her when they get back from Amelia Island.
Cool,
nice.
So but again, thank you guys for supporting Barkville, and if you want to donate, if you want to adopt, if you want to foster, if you want to do anything for us, go to barkvilledogrescue.org. Woof. And if you guys like pickleball, I don't know what the hell it is, but we're having a pickleball tournament. And it's like happening every week. And I don't know what the hell it is, but we're doing it. And people are winning money. So
people like pickleball.
They like it. I don't know what it is, but they like it.
I hope you feel better, and I hope we see you at the show this at Atlanta Pizza in Euro. I am out of gas, so thank you guys, all of you.
Yeah, thanks for staying late to get all this done.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Please
keep it candid.
Keep it candid.